know, like, usually these decks, like, don't excite me this much, but I'm, like, really into this one. So this is a Keruga deck. Every card in the deck has a mana value 3 or greater, but you, of course, are cheating on that by playing a lot of pitch cards and Scion of Draco. But I don't know. let's see. So Helga's Skittish Seer is a 3-mana 1/3. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4 or greater, so in this deck it's Subtlety, Solitude, Scion, and then your Keruga, and then your Charmaw is post-board too. You gain a life, you draw a card, you put a counter on Helga. And then Helga can also tap for mana, where mana is equal to its power, and you can cast creature spells with mana value 4 or greater, or I guess creature spells with X of their mana value. So what's awesome about playing Helga in a Keruga deck is you just always have Keruga as like this mana sink for your Helga. And what's kind of cool about this list too is I think you don't want to play Omnath, which like might sound kind of weird, but it's like you don't need the extra life gain in your ring deck, and this is something you always want to talk about is life gain, but you don't need Omnath as life gain because you're a Leyline Scion deck, you have Solitudes, and you have Helga. You have a lot of life gain here, and you don't really want to raise that mana curve. You don't really want to raise that mana curve very much, especially now that you're adding Helga, which is pretty high on the curve. But you always have Keruga as like this late game mana sink. You have Lrien Revealed too. So I think you could play some Omnaths, but especially because it pitches to your stuff, but I just don't find it very necessary. And then it's also like, I don't think I would want to cut any of these cards for an Omnath. Like, maybe you could cut the 4th Helga, but let's test the 4th Helga. But you need the Leylines, you need the Scions. I think you should play 4 Fire Ice. I think Fire Ice is very, very good at the moment. Being a binding deck is awesome. The deck is just, like, very mean, lean, and clean. So I'm into this one. So maybe what I want to do this game is go turn 1 Sacred Foundry off Windswept Heath, and then turn 1 get Zagoth Triome so that I can binding on turn 2. So much Tron. I'm going to get the Mox Field up to date. You got a bunch of Charmaws in the sideboard. Can I ask why Otter is hype when Augur Bolas never really saw play? So one thing is, we trophied with Augur Bolas in addition to Otter the other day. But the biggest things with these 2 cards, maybe I'll get an Ice next turn. Sorry, this is a forest, not island. Never mind. Let's Ice. So, Otter of Bolas sees a whole extra card. It can also hit Mishra's Bauble. It can hit Unstable Amulet. It can hit Blood Moon. It can hit Planeswalkers, which is a pretty big deal. Oh, they're just cycling. Okay, that is not the play of someone who just already has Tron. But seeing a whole extra card is good. Being able to top deck it for a 2/4 in the late game is good. It is just like, Magic is a game where if you tweak the numbers on playable cards a little bit, like seeing an extra card, the ability to copy it in the late game, the ability to hit any non-creature spells, it increases the playability of cards by a lot, by like really a significant amount. It's not that uncommon for you to just be able to tweak a card just a tiny bit and turn it from being like pretty bad to like pretty good. Okay, with Force of Negation up, we'll just go ahead and play a Scion here. But also, Augur Bolas is playable, weirdly enough. We had 1 in addition to our trainers in our Wizard deck we trophied with on Tuesday. Oh, good draw. Brutal. Yeah, Serum Vision's Preordain is a good example. Why not the Bloodbraid Elf Versions deck? I don't know what that is. I built this deck. I haven't seen a Bloodbraid Elf build, but Force of Negation is super duper good at the moment. I kind of can't imagine playing this deck without Force of Negation. So we're getting Myco spawned. Pretty brutal. Yeah, we played 3 matches with the Bant deck. I thought it was fine. The problem with these Bant decks is we've played a lot of them. And sorry, I should have probably forced this. We're very cooked. We've played a lot of them, and when we circle back to them, it's not like we have like big groundbreaking new updates to like show off usually, and so it's like I don't want to spend too much time on them. And then the problem is that the leagues take forever. Also, the leagues take forever. So I tend to just like to show off a few matches and kind of show off updates to like the general shell without really getting too in the weeds. Probably play 3 Subtlety, 1 Solitude. On the blue. So we have 2 Charmaws, no red mana. Kind of a classic. Hard hand to mulligan, but we have to. This hand is definitely a lot better. I'm going to keep this, and then... Hand's kind of weird because we're somewhat incentivized to play Scion after Helga. So we want to go maybe turn 2 ice. Turn 1 fail, turn 2 ice. Maybe it's just me. I'd like you to see more good weeds with bans. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there are people I'm sure who want to see me play more bans. There's people who want to see me play all kinds of decks, but like I also like don't want to spend like 4 hours playing bans right now. I'm down to play it at some point, and I'm down to like show off like the updates. But the bans leagues just take so long. The ban leagues take so long, and so like when we kind of have a fizzle start there, it's really tough to like say, okay, we're gonna just commit to another 2.5 hours of bans because the leagues are just so slow. And again, I do like the archetype. It's one of these that we've just played so much of that it's kind of, I think, for the best to not spend the most time on. Okay, it's a good draw. Green, white, blue. And then even if we kind of fizzle a little bit, we'll be able to like, grow this Helga, and we'll be able to maybe just use Keruga as our mana sink here. But I'm open to like coming back to the Bant deck if we get stuck, maybe with some updates. But again, we've just played so much of the archetype in so many different little builds. Dude, Tron players are really natural Troning a lot more often now. I don't know how they're doing it. What is in the sauce? With Leyline in play versus Maiko, don't you keep your fetches up to combat its kicker ability? Well, I want to surveil here. And then as soon as I've surveilled, my opponent's going to be able to get rid of one of my lands. Yeah. You lose these, I guess. So maybe what I should do is... We got Chalice? Really? Chalice on 0 against my Keruga deck. Do they think this stops free spells? Maybe they do. So I'm going to surveil looking for a Charmaw, although that might not be the best strategy since I kind of need to attack this Karn anyways. So maybe I should just get an untapped land so that I have the ability to cast a Charmaw if I draw it, and that's like the big game winning top deck. So yeah, I guess I should have left this untapped. We'll do that. Canister, thank you for the raid. Hope you're doing well today. Appreciate you. Did not draw it. So we... Oh, sorry. I forgot that this gets Vigilance. So we could have surveilled, and then we could have tapped this post-combat. We can't tap this to put Keruga into our hand. Only to cast creature spells mana value X or greater. So we can't Keruga in our hand and just have it there to cast next turn, but hopefully they don't have too much more juice. There's a power plant, 4 cards in their hand. They could have green cards stuck in their hand kind of easily. Oh, there's green mana. Plus the Karn, 3 cards. Paying costs, 7 mana. Hope it's Myco Spawn. It's Devourer, which can get rid of my Leyline here. Not the end of the world. I get to attack and kill the Karn. I'm gonna get... I guess I can get this can tap for all colors. Okay, so this is bad if I draw another Scion, but I think I'm still getting this. Okay, happy to graveyard that. Thank you, Surveil Lands, for just doing so much. But also curse you lands in the deck, I guess. So we kill the Karn. Tapping green mana. Do they have Sowing Mycospawn? They do. Do they have any way to get card advantage? Because this is not really such a impactful play here. Do they have like the draw if you have a creature power 4 or greater? They get a tower. Do they have another spell to play? So 2 cards in their hand. One of them is just an Ugin's Lab. Maybe they have another Devourer and they have no target for it because this is hexproof. Another Helga. I'd like to be able to cast an ice if I draw one. So 2 more draws. You like Glarb? I think it's better than Helga. I don't like that card. I haven't really seen it in action. Maybe it's one that could impress, but I don't think that card's great. I don't know. I don't love being at mercy at the top of my library so much. I don't love that you usually are going to have to untap with it to get value out of it, where Helga, you can like play it, evoke something immediately. I think the life gain on Helga, the mana ability on it is really like cool and good and interesting, and something I like really like when it comes to putting this card in the deck. But I don't know. I do think it's an interesting dynamic, an interesting conversation, and we can talk about it. I think we should probably cast the Leyline so that the Scion can be cast off the Helga. We could draw a card, and then we're in pretty good shape if they don't top deck too well. I don't know. Like that card could be better than I think it is, but I just generally don't rate it very highly. I think like I kind of think all the abilities on Helga are better for the most part. What is this? Boseiju? Okay, that's not so bad since I just have another one. Trying to think of the merits of tapping this versus not tapping this. I'm not attacking with this Helga unless I draw Solitude. I guess that's maybe enough of a reason. If I draw Force of Negation, I can pitch it. If I draw... I can't Ice. I can still Leyline. Yeah, I'm just going to tap the 2 mana here. Another Helga. So this is a 6/6. Not going to attack this in there, but getting pretty close to being able to. And they don't have good attacks. Can't I ring? I can ring. This seems like a better play to me. Would you agree? Or oh, sorry, I can't ring off Helga. Helga only casts creatures. Maybe that's the confusion there. You know, to some extent, this line was better before we knew that like the last card was Boseiju, and like I thought we were going to be able to get an attack in. Do they have any utility lands to get? I guess just no. Okay. This is a freebie. Unless they could have second Boseiju here. That's okay if they do, I guess. I don't think that they're... I think they probably don't have second Boseiju, but that is kind of what they're representing. Okay. Alright, so let's cast a ring. You have Leyline in place, so I guess it doesn't really matter how we tap our mana. They're hellbent. They have an expedition map in play, so if they have a Boseiju, they can sacrifice it and get it. We're not looking good. I agree that the first Omnath would be probably a good addition. What would you cut to add Omnath? Because I was just looking at this, I'm like, there's not really a single card I want to cut for an Omnath right now. I thought about playing 61, but I'm like, oh, let's just leave Omnath at home for today. Okay. Didn't think we would win this. Well, let's not counter chickens too quickly here. What do they get off? They got another Urza's Mine, so I can't Charmaw them off Tron. Makes sense. Yeah, I did actually think about playing 61 and just playing the first Omnath, which might be right. You wish one of these Helgas with Omnath? I mean, you could cut a Helga for an Omnath, but also, like, you know, come on, we're testing the new card. Let's keep the new card in for a little bit. I mean, if they had all of us, it would be bad, but we would have, 31 life, protection from everything. We'd be able to rebuild, probably. Also, like the extra Helgas, we have 12 cards in the main deck that these can pitch to, so it's not even like really such a huge deal to draw extra copies sometimes. So I'm at 30. There's a Charmaw. There's a Binding. So let's add 4 red mana. Would love to find a second Charmaw. Draw a card off the Helga, gain a life off the Helga. Love that Force of Negation. So happy to see it. Draw 3 more cards. Cast another Scion, draw another card. Another Force of Negation. We're rolling. I think Boseijuing them off Tron is probably better than casting the Binding to get in with my Keruga this turn, since this stops them from top decking some of the bigger Eldrazi's, right? They have 4, 5, 6, 7 mana now. Yeah, just like Emrakul is no longer online. Hope they don't draw a non-creature spell. Okay. We won this game. Probably second Salt. I mean, Subtlety is like really only good against Karn, I guess. Solitude gaining them so much life is tough too. Let's just do a 2-2 split. Oh, right. The ring gets sacked to All's Dust because of the Leyline. I guess Leyline is pretty bad against All's Dust, but we got Force of Negations at least. So my opponent's on a mull to 6. This hand has no Force of Negation. It has no Charmaw. Let's mulligan. This hand has Force of Negation. Let's keep. Probably putting back the second Force on the mulligan. When it reveals a Devourer, are y'all forcing a Expedition map if our opponent plays it turn 1 here? Nah, I think I probably would. To get rid of an Eldrazi Temple, Michael Spawn, and All His Dust. I'm not going to force it if they played off the Labyrinth, I guess. They pitch the Devourer. It is cool to see the differing opinions in chat there. So I'm probably going to try to play the Scion after I play Helga, so I want to be able to go... The problem is I can't get my Triome on turn 1 and then Sacred Foundry and play on turn 2 with this setup. I guess that's fine. I guess I'll just go Sacred Foundry, Island Cycle for Zagoth Triome, and just save the Fire Ice to pitch. Although Ice next turn is really good. Well, maybe we'll do something else. Weird. I mean, if they name Lrien Revealed, that's just good for me, so I'm not going to cycle. Was there ever a Outcast Trailblazer shell that's good at Modern? I don't know. That card is so bad against Orcish Bowmaster, but I don't know. This card just got a lot more toughness, which is nice. Okay, they named Charmaw. None of those in the hand, I guess. 3 cards in their hand right now. I do really want to ice them next turn. So I'm going to grab Breeding Pool so I can go ice into Helga, and then hopefully we can cast the Scion after that. Okay, we can now cast the Scion after that. What's my opinion on the density of blue creatures that you need to make Flare good? I'm thinking it'd be similar, if not the same, to the pitch elementals. It's not similar. It's not. You don't need like 14 good creatures to sack to it. It's a little bit different. It kind of depends too. It's kind of a weird conversation where like there are a lot of like half points for it. So like in the wizard deck that we trophied with, we have 5 creatures that are like mostly there to sack to flare. We have 4 Otter of Bolas and 1 Augur of Bolas. But then like the Snapcaster mages are like half good to sack to flare. They're like pretty good on turn 3. Like you like snap a 1-drop then flare, but it's kind of slow. So like I kind of count that as a half, and then I count cards like Tom, Mio, and Kitsa as like a quarter, which is weird to count it as a quarter, but it's like you just don't want to sack those to flare very often, but you can in a pinch. And so like in that deck, I would maybe consider that I have like 5, 6 3/4. I have like 8.5 or something like that. creatures to sack the flare, which is, I don't know, maybe it's not something that makes any sense, but it makes enough sense to me to like think of it in this way. Flute naming Charmaw is weird, right? Like if they have 5 close lands, it costs 5 less. Yeah, that is true. I mean, although they're just trying to delay the Charmaw so they can get ahead on board, and the Charmaw is like my most important card in the matchup, so it seems like a fine play to me. Despite, you know, me hoping they would get another Chalice, we'll let that one go here. Green time. Get in there, Helga. Has Helga been good? I mean, this is our first match, but yeah, Helga's been good. 3 cards in your hand, opponent. Hopefully they're all green cards. No Natty Tron this time. Oh, Bean good. She's not up to Beanstalk, but she's pretty cool. Alright, down to 12. I think they were thinking about putting this into their hand. Well, we're going to draw some cards and gain some life. So this costs 3 mana here, so I guess I can just go play another Scion, draw a card, gain a life, put a counter on Helga. I can also attack because it has Vigilance due to the Scion, and then I can just play a Charmaw through the Disruptive Flute even, with Force of Negation up. Could you have double spell tapping Helga for 2? So Helga only taps for creature spells. So I don't believe I had the mana to do both last turn. But if I did, I did. But I had to fetch to get this castable anyways. I think I'm mostly scared of Tron here. I'm gonna hit their tower. Despite, like, they could just put this back in their hand. I don't think I care too much about the regular Eldrazi's. I think the main way I'm losing this game is them getting Tron online. Yeah, we played 3 matches of the Bant deck. I thought it looked pretty cool and interesting, but it's just not one I really have the energy to play all day when there's like so much other new stuff going on. I can circle back to it, and I kind of just like kind of show off like the general ideas for the most part. I mean, how much do I care about this? I mean, enough to force, but we're still like winning even if this would resolve. Oh, they would have had Tron. It is funny that the Charmaw costs 3 more mana, but we just like cast it for 3 mana. It is very funny that it gets discounted extra. I guess let's just attack first, and then I probably Keruga. Draw 5. Draw 6, I guess, including the Helga draw. Right, they're just dead. Damn it. Classic Keruga problem. Lethal by book. Yeah, I guess that was also lethal. Okay, I'd love to play against Energy. I just estimated your day. It really did, Juicy. I was really like, it totally turned my attitude about Helga completely around. Okay, so we can Binding the map on turn 1 here. More Tron. So much Tron lately. Go Binding on the map. We did win. Hopefully we can win again. Not gonna force this. Certainly could. Good to get some pressure going now. Toronto's pretty cheap. I actually don't know. I'm out of touch. So if they play Karn, we'll just let it resolve, I think. Kill it with the Scion. They play Ring will force. Yeah, this is fine. They're probably gonna get a ring, we'll just force that. Yeah, we're quickly entering the main deck Charmaw format, huh? I played 3 leagues of past seen 0 Tron, 0 draws. I feel like I play against Tron like twice a week minimum. I guess maybe they get the map out from underneath the binding. That could be the right play. That is what they do. So now I guess I'm gonna hold up Hardcast Force. Although it could be better for me to just put Keruga into my hand this turn and then pitch. I think that actually makes more sense to me. I play Blueback Murktide these 2 times. Yeah, Blueback Murktide is popular. So I don't think I want to upkeep Surveil, because if I draw Helga, I want to go Island Cycle for a land, play Helga, then Helga can cast Keruga. Okay, get your map. Get your map back. They have 3 Urza Towers, too. That's pretty gross. Okay, they get a ring this time. Kind of interesting. Interest ring. Okay, so now the plan is to force the ring. I think we're going to grab Steam Vents, just so if they, like, kill my Leyline and have more domain. Obviously, my life total's not too much of a problem. They can fetch map. I mean, that's what they did last time, too, but they chose ring this time. So that likely means that their hand is not too strong, which is, of course, good news for me. Get in. So we get to draw 5 cards off Keruga / Helga next turn. Get to Surveil end of turn. They don't have Tron yet. Okay, well. They're going to have 7 mana after this. Sorry, 8 mana. 3 cards in their hand. Alright, just a ring. Ooh. I mean, I guess they still have 4 mana left. Ring is good, obviously, but we've got bindings. We've got a good amount of outs to this. To draw a lot of cards at least. Snap, keeping that one on top. So we'll attack for 5. Oh, sorry, they have pro everything. Never mind. Hopefully draw a blue card. We have a, 5 looks at a blue card here. There we go. Another one. Yeah, a lot better for us than All Is Dust. Down to 15. I have 9, 11 points of power in play. This cookbook is gaining them some life, though. Yeah, I need to dodge Emrakul. There's not really much we could do about Emrakul. That's kind of like the whole thing, I guess. The Mycospawn? It's Worldbreaker or a Mycospawn. Okay, that doesn't do a lot. We could like cycle the Subtlety or whatever and grow the Helga, but let's not. Does Subtlety not work on Emrakul? They still get the cast trigger, and if you Subtlety Emrakul, I believe like all of your stuff is just permanently stolen. That's not good. Yeah, my big mistake was saying out loud that they didn't have Tron yet. Absolutely. I mean, if I like draw a ring, although they have their own ring, so it's probably pretty cooked. Right, game 2. Maybe this matchup is better when we get 4 Charmals in. Hard to say. So last time we played 2 Subtlety, 2 Solitude. It seemed like okay numbers. Neither card is particularly good. Maybe Subtlety just is really bad. I don't know. But Solitude is also pretty bad. You want some numbers. Is there a reason to do that main phase? Not a super obvious one. If you Solitude, all this stuff just dies. They don't keep it. Well, you can't even Solitude. Emrakul says protection from spells cast this turn. No Tefts on the board. I don't have any Tefts on the board. I don't think Teferi's super good at the moment. And when I build Keruga decks, I like to have that mana curve as low as possible, too. We beat Tron in round 1, so we're back-to-back Tron opponents here. Yeah, you could Solitude Emrakul if you blink the Solitude, but not something we have access to. We're just going to try to charm all them off Emrakul. Yeah, we're going to keep a Force of Negation Ice Hand. How are we enjoying Eldrazi Winter 2 Electric Boogaloo? I don't know if that's how I describe this format, but I kind of like, I don't know, Eldrazi is a weird deck to be like so good and popular where it is very good and very powerful, but it is kind of like bad against combo decks, and this is a consigned to memory break the ice Charmaw format, so there's like a lot of really, really premium cards against them. White Orchid Phantom too. So I don't know. I think it's an okay deck to be really popular. I'm gonna get Archive here. The unsurprising second Tron piece. Summon Keruga to my hand. In very good shape. I'll take 1-1 against Tron though. Well, I immediately scoop to them playing Power Plant here. Maybe not immediately. There's a tower. And there's a Charmaw. That was I mean, that was it for sure. Okay. Sorry for the doom and gloom. I just can't remember the last time we had a Tron opponents just like stumble like a little bit. I only get to draw 1 extra card, but it's a good amount of extra pressure. Thought about like playing Binding out last turn, so if we drew a land, we could, you know, charm all again. Okay, they play another Urza's Mine. This time they have a play. Kozilek's Command, probably. Should have been 0-2, opponent got a Chalice. I guess, I don't know. If they had played that, yeah, we would have lost if they got a Sundering Titan, for sure. Worth it, I think, to kill the spawn and then get in for extra 5 points of damage. Or I guess they could block it, that would kill the spawn too. Just have lethal next turn. Do you have room for one of Touch the Spirit Realm? We don't really have a lot of room in the deck. The list is kind of tight at the moment, I think. But also, I am kind of a Touch the Spirit Realm hater. I don't think that card is very good. Okay, play pattern, something. Should I play out this Leyline? I guess why not? All His Dust is still very bad against for me here next turn. They have to have Tron or double land into it though. Seems good versus Ring. I don't know, it's kind of mediocre against Ring. We have 4 Leyline Bindings. I don't like Touch the Spirit Realm very much. I don't think the card is great. We're kind of missing 1 damage by exiling Ring on our turn. You give them extra card. First, I don't know why people think this, but if your opponent has a counter on the ring, they tap the ring, you binding it, they get an extra card. They get to draw a card off of that, and I really want to stop them from drawing Urza's Power Plant here. They had 10 hits though. Are you like complaining about me being upset about this top deck, or what is that? What are you saying here? You were mentally prepared, I see, and I was not mentally prepared, it seems. Although this hit is like, you know, a lot better than Lab or Temple. When they add a counter, you can exile the ring before they draw a card. Yes, so if they have no counters and you binding the ring, they don't get a card. The Sundering Titan? Maybe we could draw like Lrien Revealed into something. I really thought we were gonna get this one. Play patterns. Not all is lost yet. Although I don't have a third Surveil land. So much mana. I mean, if this Charmaw hits them, they die to their ring. They have 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. That's enough to hardcast an Emrakul. They have 14 mana. Not the worst for us, but also pretty bad. Another one? Okay, another one. Not sure what us winning this game looks like. I guess I'm blocking if they attack. I mean... it's a lethal attacker next turn. Bring in a Charmaw. Yeah, I mean, I think Lrien Revealed, like, getting us 3 cards immediately would be better. I don't know. I don't know anything. They Boseiju me. I don't have another Surveillance still. I'll grab something. They have another Devourer? They haven't tapped their ring yet. Oh, if they tap, they're at 3 life though, so if they tap this ring, they could die. So they Devour, which cannot get my Scion. So Scion, although now I have to chump block with the Scion. So now I really want to draw the ring, I guess. Ring probably wins the game for me, because they just will take 4. I guess, unless they find another one. Does Solitude stabilize? No. Ugh. Got them down to 1. Oh, Fire Ice, yeah. Fire Ice was also... that was the actual best draw. Keep on the blind in the play? At the car, I'm putting us to 15. Yeah, I guess I'm confused, but... They just block if I attack there. It didn't seem like a good attack. Like, I get, you know, the sequence of them Boseiju my Leyline, them going to 3 doing so, and then having the 3rd Devourer does make it, like... Dude, no, they did not just reveal Devourer of Destiny. Wow, how am I in Tron Hell? What sin did I commit to be exiled to Tron Hell here? This is our 3rd in a row. I guess maybe they're playing a different variant. This hand's stinky. It's not great. You would mulligan this on the play in the blind? I think it's like a snap keep. Or not a snap keep, but like a clear keep. If they reveal Devour, I mulligan. Put it back on top. Oh. I keep thinking this is an island. To be fair, with not a good span, this deck is going to be a problem. I don't know. I mean, I agree. I mean, Tron Eldrazi is a top-tier deck. It's kind of an interesting dynamic where It seems to be top tier, despite like there being a lot of break the ices and Charmaws and stuff. I'll go to game 2 here. Can maybe play Commandeer in the sideboard. There's not really like much else. Usually favorable with the 15 months. They will come back. The first Commandeer is probably okay. Got a lot of blue cards. Amulet kept Tron down, and just got scared away all the amulets. Maybe. I mean, Tron, like, Ugin's Labyrinth was just a huge... It got a million buffs in MH3 also. Okay, on the play. So hard to keep a hand without a Charmaw or a Force of Negation. Let's go mulliganing. Keep this one. Put back the Subtlety. Tron being able to go treasure transfer so consistently is just terrible. Yeah, I mean, it's a fine take. To say that the deck is going to be, like, for sure overpowered, I don't know. Lab is really, really good, though. Certainly the biggest card. Gonna ice it. I do need to untap land to Charmaw next turn. But maybe Revealed plus Binding gets me there. Okay, let's surveil before we do anything else, I guess. And by anything else, I mean cast the Charmaw. Okay, so we can hold up Binding to get rid of a Karn or a Ring. We can Binding a Talisman right now and let them sack the map next turn. We can also Binding the map. I'm going to hold up the Binding, I think. Binding Talisman. It's just so bad if they just have any of their, like, 7 4-mana cards. I know my top card's a land. I think I'm going to Binding this. And then they can take Ring or Charmaw, so it's kind of okay. I don't know which one they're going to take. They immediately took the Charmaw. Okay, drew land. We have Tron next turn. Zemo with the 14. Thank you, welcome back. Don't you want to fetch to thin? Fetching to thin doesn't matter all that much. But neither does my life total. Maybe it is more important. Drawing this force is really nice. I think I'm going to not fetch still. I think we're supposed to Keruga in hand. I'm not enjoying my stay in Tron Hell here. Top deck Binding would be really nice. We could go Keruga, draw 3 after the Binding. And we waited on the fetch here. We got to like get tap lands instead of untap lands. I don't know. Okay, so maybe I should go Scion plus Ring instead this turn. Seems okay. I get to draw a lot more cards off the Keruga, and I have a small chance to find a Charmaw off the Ring draw. So excited to play this deck. We'll keep playing this deck though. It's okay. I am excited to see how it does against not Tron. If we lose this one, we'll probably add a Commandeer or two. Would I consider Wasteland Strangler against Ugin's Labyrinth? No. Sorry, what did they put into their hand there? Was it Devourer? No, I would play Break the Ice, you know. Like they're just like if I'm playing a deck that could play Wasteland Strangler, I'm gonna play Break the Ice instead. It was a Devourer, so they can get back if they get rid of the Leyline, then they can actually exile my ring because it's all colors. If they get rid of the binding, I pro everything. Why not just the coin flip counter? In this deck? Oh, that card costs 3 mana is the main reason, I guess, and I prefer our interaction to be 0 mana. You could play that card, and card's good against them. Yeah, they go after exile the ring. Funny. I wonder if they attack. They probably shouldn't. Oh, sorry, I pro everything. They definitely shouldn't. Okay, don't care about that. I do get to Keruga draw 3. Binding is a really good draw. Charmaw is kind of weird. I guess I would Keruga first and try to draw land. If I drew Helga, would I Helga before Keruga-ing? And then like go Helga Solitude, the World Breaker? I did draw Helga. I think it makes sense. Obviously don't love them gaining this much life. But I just get to draw a lot more cards. Yeah, they didn't search a Boseiju. They're not necessarily playing it. I don't think I always see it. Puts down to 14. Doing our best to keep up. Draws 4 cards. 12 cards in hand. Who cares? Who cares? I do, actually. Okay, so Subtlety, draw a card. Then hopefully they play something into my Force of Negation. It's kind of nice that the Helga can tap for 3 of the Keruga mana. Gotta force this because if they get Sundering Titan, it's Ogre. But it is kind of tempting to, like, if they were going to get a big non-creature spell, it'd be tempting. My opponent still has 8 mana. Okay, now they can't cast Sundering Titan this turn. Could maybe just get another ring here. We might win this game. We're going to have to draw really well. But the Keruga draws 5 cards. They grab a Metamorph. Pay 2 life. I'm assuming they're metamorphing the ring. They might metamorph Scion of Draco? No way, right? Yeah, they just get the ring. Do they not have a ring in their board? Maybe they just have metamorph. Not unheard of, right? Attack, attack, attack. Okay, no punts catching. They have to discard 2 cards. I'd hate to be them right now. That's a start. No, dude, I don't deserve this, Boseiju. This is bullshit. This is bullshit, this Boseiju. Come on, dude. I needed to go Charmaw into Keruga. Oh, man. Just still stuck in Tronhelm. Should I binding the Thought-Knot Seer to try to find like Force of Negation or something? Gonna ice the tower, I guess. That would have been so sick, though. Just like get them off Tron, draw a card off the Helga, draw an extra card off Keruga. The Keruga costs one less because the Helga. I was so excited to draw that Charmaw. I was so excited to draw the Charmaw. Yeah, I could also draw Charmaw there, but I don't know. We're not doing that bad against Sundering Titan now, at least. Make it like leveler for my Leyline, maybe. 5, 6, 7. Oh, they only have 7 mana. They probably have a land to play, though. I'd be feeling a little bit more comfy if I still had that Lrien Revealed. Yeah, I think it's a good showing for the deck that we are still in this. Oh, they already played a Mine this turn? I missed that. So no Cityscape Leveler, no Sundering Titan this turn. They didn't get a ring the prior turn. Bridge is good here. Maybe. They would have to get another card out of their hand. Which they might not be able to do, actually, but we'll see. All is this going to hurt? I mean, all is dust will actually feel great because we'll be out of this game. Okay, so they got a Haywire Might that can go after either of my Leylines. They activate it now, targeting my Leyline Binding to get a Metamorph to copy Keruga to draw 4 cards. It's pretty cool. I hate it. They got Metamorph for the next minute Boseiju Binding. I guess that was the reason, huh? Alright, so we do have some good draws here. Oh, Tron Hell. Are they dead on board? No, these don't have flying. People think Scion gives flying really often. It does not give flying. No more Surveil lands. I do have a lot more life than my opponent does, though. So now I don't have a lot of good draws. It's just like the Ring, or Revealed into Ring, or like Binding, Solitude. Right on time, Force of Negation. We love you. Thank you for showing up today to work. Yeah, it's our 3rd Tron opponent in a row. It almost feels like this Force would have been game winning because they just didn't do anything else last turn, and they must be pretty flooded. They got more Allah's Dust, I guess. That's okay. Let's drop and then add like 2 Commandeers to the board. Am I still doing free spicy deck techs? That's not how you ask. You have to go, Spike. I love you. I've been watching the stream for a long time. I've never seen one word. I've been donating hundreds of dollars every month. Watching your stream has gotten me through my cat's kidney transplant, and I have brewed the sweetest build ever. You have to sell it. You have to sell the pitch for the free deck tech. So get drafting, get your English teacher to proofread it, and then we'll get in there. What did I do? Like, what eldritch god did I offend that has sentenced me to Tron Hell? I just don't know who I offended. Was it Clothis that I have forsaken? I don't know. I guess I'm glad we've got the Commandeer in the board. Oh, I'm gonna keep this so I can go off with Helga. I'm gonna keep the Binding up for this turn. Don't think we need this land. Maybe they're just Eldrazi. They're probably just they're probably just Eldrazi. I was gonna do a Tron opponents in a row counter, but maybe we just be happy that this is Eldrazi instead. Very different deck. Very different deck. Turn 2 Draco, turn 3 Helga, turn 4 Draco seems stronger. I get to draw 2 cards with this, which is nice. And I get to I was holding up you get to hold up Binding for Ring this turn, which is good, so they don't get to draw any cards up the Ring. They didn't play into the Binding though. Thank you, Wolf. I'm glad you like the stream. You may submit your free deck tech now. Esther, the 38 months. Thank you, sweetie. Welcome back. You're catching us sentenced to Tron Hell here. I don't know what I did, but we're stuck here. Omnath seems very obvious here. I agree, but also Omnath is like there. I don't think there's like a really clear cut besides like probably the 4th Helga, but I just want to play 4 Helga right now. And also I like having a lower mana curve in the Keruga deck. Having a low mana curve in the Keruga deck is like super sick. So I don't know. Doesn't feel like an Omnath would have really helped us a lot today. Yeah, 4th Ugins Lab deck in a row. Looks like they're not a Tron variant though. Just very refreshing. Okay, Kozilek's come in my Helga, scry 3, draw a card. Yeah, maybe just having hexproof on Helga's was better. The problem is though, if they like play a Ring, I can't tap out for Helga the following turn, which is why I wanted to take this line. Also get to play the tap land. 0 on top, 3 on the bottom. Okay. In honor of Esther, we'll play the One Ring. They did put 3 on the bottom. Worldbreaker? Give me another Kozilek's command. Oh, Null Drifter. Null Drifter. Very okay. I can just play like I can just play Scion and block it too. I don't even need to care about the Annihilator. I wonder if they're playing the Portent though. It's cool that people are playing that card now. Besides just me. Why aren't decks running Bone Crusher, Giant Stomp effects to get around ring protection? It was popular, but it's since fallen off. Feels like those turns off where you can't attack really swings games. I mean, I agree to some extent. Stomp is nice against the ring. I do think that like Jeskai and Boros are maybe like a little misbuilt where they're just not super good against it. There's also the new Lynx card. That card is pretty interesting / good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I think I'm just binding the Drifter. Yeah, that is something you can do. That is something you can do. Funny, I guess I really don't want to play this Leyline because I want to keep my Colorless permanence in play. Like this is not a deck for Stomp, I think, where we're like we have Binding, we have Force of Negation, we have like other answers to Ring, and we're like a slower deck in general. That is something you could do. Yeah, I don't want to play this Leyline and then let them flash this back and really get me. Oh my gosh, sorry, I forgot about pro everything. Somehow. Even after all the discourse. Guess that's okay. We'll just play this tapped. Discard. Yeah, Sunsmine Lynx is kind of interesting. Honestly, Lynx would be maybe just really good against them too. Sorry, I also should have binding the ring. I don't know why I got stun locked. Thank you all already drunk with the 2 months. Appreciate you. I don't know. Maybe leaving this in play is kind of good because I just get to hit them for 8. They take 2, and then they're dead to the 2 attacks. And I have a lot of permission here. It does take like a whole turn off the clock. I'm currently testing Lynx and Mardu Energy. Yeah, I know Dingo was trying it too. I don't really know how it ended up like going. Might go spawn, huh? So if I Subtlety this, it gets shuffled away, and then I'm attacking for 11, putting them down to 7, then they take 2 potentially. Like, it also just kind of opens me up to binding the ring without, like, needing this to take the turn off the clock, I guess. Wait, does this not bounce all colorless? Dude, I thought this bounced all colorless permanents. Okay, that is so bad. Thanks for the heads up, I guess. Does Link wins you life with those dry land play? Yeah, it's probably right for a different shell than this one. They get an island, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now they can just binding bounce everything. Right, I'm gonna move on. I think with the Commandeers, I just kind of want the extra blue cards, maybe. Although maybe the sideboard is just like this. The Helgas are worse, but they pitch the Commandeer. They still get triggered off of 10 cards in the deck. We should probably cut one. Kermos with the tier 1. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Was actually dead to that binding bounce. I want dead on board, but it's game 1, and we just like don't have Charmaws to like really be able to win there. They have an Emrakul the Promised End under the Labyrinth that we can't really beat. So I think I'm just like without being able to attack with those Scions there, we're not gonna be able to win that game. Okay, on the play. Not awful. I'm gonna go and mulligan. Sand is a lot better. I think I bottomed the Fire Ice. I'll bottom the Force of Negation, actually, on the mulligan. What about updating my Elemental Recommission list? The Fury Band killed that deck, unfortunately. Draco bottom TBH? I think definitely not. It's going to complement my Charmaw aggro plan pretty well, because I can't Charmaw turn 2. And now I need to binding this. So I guess I do this instead of surveilling. I think it should be the 4s. Also, like, Leyline Scion isn't, you know, particularly bad against them. Alright. Let's find a land. There we go. Just gonna fetch the red-white instead. Maybe it was better. Maybe Upkeep Surveil was good. No, it's not. You want to give your chance the ability to draw a land, and if you give yourself the ability to draw a land there, you are you get to play a card. And if you miss on the land, you surveil in the next turn, which is the same thing as if you Upkeep Surveil, you can't play anything that turn. So you're locked into playing something next turn with that line. Just taking a draw step gives you the upside to just rip the land, which is just way higher upside. Okay, they didn't get a land that taps for colorless. So now this Charmaw is just not even good. They graveyarded a ring, which is pretty bad news for me too, since they probably have another one. It's not Tron, but yeah, it's another Ugin's Lab deck. Alright. If we play against another Ugin's Lab deck, I'll drop and play something else. Let's give this one a try. Yeah, Teague is probably pretty good. It's not one of that I've been registering. Teague is like, maybe I'm just saying this because I'm playing against so much Tron, but it's like almost main deckable. It stops Court of Calling out of Nadu, stops Past in Flames out of Storm. It's not very good against Energy. We've exited Ugin's Lab Hell. Let's go. In what way can any rabbit be modern playable? I don't know. I don't know that any rabbit is modern playable. Rabbit battery is kind of cool. Is Helga rabbit? Yeah, Teague also stops Wrath. Oh, they can still X equals. Oh, no, they can't do X at all, right? Yeah, Teague is maybe really good. It's not good against energy. But probably good against, like, everything else. Could hold up the hardcast Force, Digital Thoughtseize, I guess. But I would just pitch and then still lure and cycle. Is this so wrong? I don't think so. They obviously just drew this. So this just time walks them, I get to play the ring. Yeah, Helga's a frog. As opponent's deck ever beat Leyline Sign, they're probably incredibly weak to it. There's land number 2, baby. Is Balin the Haymaker playable? Big Wabbit? I don't remember what that card's text is, to be honest. Is Balin the Sultai one? I can't remember the name of the Sultai card. Okay, I probably want the Disputes. Not play the Forces. Could be like an Endurance, maybe. It's kind of good against the, I guess the Necroglyph deck. Maybe I want more Endurances. Could do like 3-2. Although my Helga count's kind of low. Maybe we could go down to Helga, play 3 Subtlety. Balin is the Naya. Oh, yeah, the Knight of Sweet's Revenge card. I don't think that card is good, no. And the kind of deck it would go in is like just so weak to Wrath the Sky. It's very tough. Yeah, Sultai one is Glarb. A lot of people like Glarb. Glarb could be okay. It's a little hard to evaluate for me, I guess. I really want to play against Energy with this deck. That would be a matchup I really want to test. We've established the deck. Not very good against Ugin's Lab builds. Balin's maybe good in Gleeful Demolition, can Rebirth, Convoke deck. I would think probably not. It's like those kind of decks want to be super aggressive, super duper aggressive, and I don't think they really want to play like a kind of a dopey, like mid range card. I don't know. Something to think about. Any cards recently piqued your interest for a Valakut Charm deck? MH3 was so disappointing for it. Not really. So, like, I know a lot of people want, like, the Vine Lasher, Lookout, Crime to be a thing. Maybe you could in, like, a Jund build, but it's honestly asking a lot. I think I want to get Domain online here, so go Red, White Surveillant into Sultai Triome. But I don't know. Those decks are pretty slow. There's like I don't know. I would love for those decks to be good, but you just didn't get a lot. This is kind of what happens when like you like an archetype and you're working on it, and then MH3 Assassin's Creed Bloomburrow comes out, and your archetype just didn't get anything, and you're unfortunately a lot of times going to be just cooked. Can I go? Yeah, I don't have a Stomping Ground in the deck. So I guess we're going to stick to this plan. But I'd like to be able to hardcast the Endurance. Helga's interesting. If she feels good to keep with, like, Solitudes in my hand. But I can't play her on turn 3. Maybe that's okay. Surprised nobody's played Fire Adventure with the ring yet. The thing is, it's like Modern is like just so different from Standard or Pioneer, where Fires of Invention is so crazy. Where like, man, I'm just gonna play Fires of Invention, and I'm gonna play 4 and 5 mana Haymakers every single turn until my opponent dies, And this plan is just gonna be great because my opponent's just there's like no combo in the format. There's no big mana in the format, or if there is, it's not fast enough to like interact with my stuff. But in modern, like you just tap out, and if you say you can't do anything on your opponent's turn, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose to combos and big mana. And it's also like all the extra 4-drops is tough. Like in modern, it's very difficult to keep a hand that has 2 4-drops in it. There's part of the reason why I don't like having Omnath, or here it's like if your hand just has like 2 lands, 2 Omnaths, or two lands, 2 4-drops, and then like 3 other cards. It's kind of a sketchy keep sometimes. Don't know if I'm doing a great job articulating that. But this was something I really like came to understand quickly and tried to articulate like the difference between Up the Beanstalk and the One Ring. It's like, hold on, let me think about this one. I think I want Endurance here. Because I'd like to set up for a blowout with Solitude on Shadow if they don't play around it. And then Upkeep Endurance plays around Counterspell a little bit by tapping them down. Also plays around Murktide by stopping them from being able to play one. This is why I say no combos in Pioneer. Maybe I said that. More so standard for the Fires of Invention thing, but also, like, talking about Fires of Invention and Pioneer, like, there was a time when there wasn't as many combos where Fires was, like, a better, more playable thing to do. But sure, there are combos in Pioneer. If I had a blue card to play around Subtlety, okay, let's keep this. It's pretty risky to attack. It'd be better to do this in the upkeep. So I think I'm going to let this resolve, which is like a little weird, whatever. But my plan is to chump block, go Helga with Mystical Dispute up, and then Solitude, trigger the Helga. I can take 7 also, maybe. I'm gonna gain a lot of life. The player reward packs. I'm gonna take 7. They have like Dress Down, Counterspell, we're dead, but that's okay. Do this now because I can't dispute a Counterspell on their turn if I do it in their upkeep. Kind of don't think they have 2 counterspells. They would if they did, they would almost definitely have countered Helga. So how much do I care about another Death Shadow? I think I care. Like I know I could try to get aggressive here and be better against Murktide, but probably just better to chill. 2 cards in their hand. Nice. So now I think we get in. I can put Keruga in my hand and also keep up Hardcast Subtlety, because the Helga can cast the Subtlety. Oh, Sing Endurance? Endurance! I think I've been missing the Sing Redemptions a lot lately. A lot of times, like lately, like it's always when I'm like need to be the most focused on a game, I have a redemption to do. Alright, 1 card in their hand. Imagine their last card is somehow a creature, which it isn't because they just drew this bauble. And they would have played a creature last turn. Might as well run out the Subtlety. Draw a card, gain a life, counter on Helga. Potentially extra card for the Keruga too. I guess the last card could be Bowmaster, not the most likely. At this point, it's not. They probably shouldn't have countered that knowing I have Keruga, but this is kind of like a give up counter, right? Well, maybe they drew another one off the bauble. Was Esther super excited that Les Mis to Gojira section of the Olympic opening ceremony? We didn't watch. We don't have TV, you know. We've been watching like little bits and pieces online. If you happen to have Peacock, I don't have Peacock. I don't know. But I don't like when streaming services get you with like these like one time. Like if I could pay like $50 and watch all the Olympics, I guess I could just get Peacock and cancel it. I complain about nothing. But it just rubs me the wrong way when like, come on, come subscribe for this a month-long thing. I guess I could just get it and cancel. You can just sing redemption. I sang Endurance Magical. Was there 2 sing redemptions? I don't think there were. I think I did sing. Like, well, claps in the chat too. Maybe I'll still get Peacock and watch some of it. Alright, take the Leyline. I'm so happy we've exited Tron Hell. So if I need the Binding next turn, I can go untapped Sacred Foundry, then Lrien Revealed for Zagoth Triome. They hit a Thoughtseize. Pretty good. Streamer says, come on, subscribe for this month-long thingy. Says the unsubscribed Desparg. I don't know, at the very least, I'm pushing the envelope, brewing, trying to innovate every single day. Instead of like, you only want the Olympics, don't want anything else. It is what it is. I get it. Yeah, of course, no one's obligated. You also may notice I basically never go, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. Please remember to like and subscribe, follow. And I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I don't really have to. I appreciate being in that position. Thank you, guys. I think they have Bowmaster here, so I kind of want to fire Bowmaster and the Amtraptor. Ton of cheek jokes seems to got stuff. It's okay. It's just very tough to make jokes like this and not have it get misinterpreted or like toned. But I could probably be more charitable in my tone evaluation or whatever. I'm making fun of my sing redemption. I thought I sang magical, but that's okay. I'm sorry. I did sing endurance if that was the card I was supposed to sing. I think I'm supposed to binding the Guide of Souls. Like, they're Mardu, so they shouldn't have Blood Moon main game 1. Yeah, I think Fire Ace is pretty underplayed. There's one redemption that's there, so mine shortly after. Okay, we'll get it later if you already redeemed it. Always hard for those 2 in a row. Godman, 3 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. They have 3 cards still in their hand. So you can maybe binding that later. We could also maybe just... They don't have any energy generators at the moment, so that might just come back to us at some point. I might just binding a creature of theirs and get Keruga in my hand. I might hardcast Solitude. The world is pretty much our oyster, as it were. At the moment, it seems like pitch, Solitude, Leyline Binding, Keruga in hand is a pretty good line. And it seems like I should be just getting rid of 2 creatures. I'm not sure which 2 creatures It's not. It doesn't seem very good for me to go after a Johnny with them having this open mana because they could really easily have like Galvanic Discharge or something, or to flip the Johnny. So I think I want to like Solitude, exile Amped Raptor, and then Binding, exile the cat token. Then we only take 2, go down to 9. They consider Glarb a little bit. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people seem to like Glarb. I think the card is hard to evaluate. I don't think the card is very good. I think Helga's better. I don't like that it costs black mana. But the card could certainly play better than I think it does. So at least they don't have a red permanent anymore. 2 cards in their hand still, though. Probably both spells. Could easily have a Galvanic Discharge or a Bolt. I don't have another basic island in the deck. If I did, I probably would island cycle. Fetch Shock down to 6, and then if they discharge this Keruga, I'm going to 1. It's not a very high life total. Isn't binding the cat the same as binding a Johnny plus 1/-1 damage in regards to them having discharge? I'm trying to play around discharge, right? By like just holding up the binding for a bit, but they also like they didn't definitely have it. No, they did have it here though. But it's like so if we go binding on I don't know. It's at least 1 more damage now. Oh, maybe you're right. Yeah, if we get rid of the binding, we don't get protection from everything, so it's not the most helpful. But now it doesn't matter if you binding the Ajani, they discharge the other kind of response could be wrong. Yeah. If you binding the Ajani, then they discharge the cat, then they flip the Ajani. But if you binding the cat, they still discharge. It's kind of the same. Daniel, the 26th. Future Sight is a hell effect. Yeah. Hard to evaluate. That card is also not. It's not Future Sight. It's not quite that good, right? Okay, so we're gonna binding a cat. Then we're gonna take 4. Gonna go down to 2. Dead to a bolt. Dead to a flage. Looking for a Solitude. Looking for. I'm not sure. So I guess they can pay for these static prisons next turn. Do I have any outs off of this? I don't think so, especially because I don't. Maybe I could do like Solitude, white card, binding or something ridiculous. Alright, game 2. Now bring in these. What's the manga do nowadays? I don't think I would look at clips. I don't. We've been so distracted all stream, I just want to focus a little bit on the magic. Momolika, thank you for Twitch Prime. Appreciate you. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, no worries, Ras. It's okay. Free deck happening. Free deck tech sevens are not happening. I don't know. I don't really want to look at Lantern Control. I'm sorry, it's every time someone's like, I love Lantern Control. I'm working on it. It hurts to look at it. It just is not an archetype that has legs, And this is kind of classic, like, ooh, what if we play Goyf because we've tried everything else because the archetype just isn't good. It's just hard to. Lantern is super unplayable. It's super unplayable. It's very bad against like the static prisons and the Karns and the labyrinth decks and the Wrath the Skies is like such a nightmare for the archetype. It's just like as dead as any archetype can be, unfortunately. Kind of a sketchy hand, but let's give it a go. So I'm on to 6. Maybe Lantern appears if we had Scepter enchant. I don't know. It's just, for me, you know, there's some things I'm interested in working on. There's some things I'm interested in talking about. Lantern is just not a deck for me. Not a deck that I want to spend time on, unfortunately. I think I'm still getting my Zagoth Triome. I'm not above icing this. What is Lantern? So there's an old control deck that tries to use Lantern of Insight plus like cards like Codex Shredder to like look at your opponent's top card and then mill that top card if it's like bad for you, and it's like really cool and classic. And a friend of mine, Zach Elsick, like won a GP with it one time and won a Pro Tour, and it was something that was like, you know, like a real modern deck for a while. And since that time has kind of ceased to be a real modern deck, and they banned Mox Opal, and they printed Boseiju and Wrath of Skies and Urza Saga for Haywire Might. Oh, it usually tries to use Ensnaring Bridge to like stop your opponent's creatures from attacking, and then like discard spells and stuff to like get rid of good outs for your opponent. But the archetype is super duper dead in the water, and I don't really say that lightly. It is just unplayable. And it's also, oh yeah, Ristic Studies has a good video on it. Have I looked at Vine Lasher Lookout in a deck? I have. I have a deck with those two cards built, but it's not the most exciting to me. It doesn't look super good. Looks kind of slow. But I would like to work on it some more off stream, and then if it's good enough, we'll play it on stream. Why ice instead of fire? Just hit land drops? Yeah, to hit land drops, and then also our mana development is kind of weird if we have to get like, we can't get Steam Mints off this. We'd have to get like Sacred Foundry, and then we're not very good at casting this Helga if we do that. Don't think I should force this. Is Helga the new beans? Helga's been pretty good. It is not up the beanstalk. Any Just Guy Ascendancy with the untap Otter in the pipe? I don't have one ready. I'm also like not the biggest Jeskai Ascendancy gamer, but it is kind of a cool historic deck or whatever. Okay, so we get to play Helga. Not really a bad draw since we just have all pitch cards in hand. I think I'll main phase Solitude on this Guide of Souls, so that I play around Bowmaster maybe a little bit better, maybe not that much better. We also get to play around Bolts on the Helga. They have enough energy to discharge even if I Subtlety. They did miss a land drop, so we'll see if they... And then they drew the Aether Hub, we'll see if they drew a third land. How did the Elf Belcher deck brew develop? Okay, they did draw another land. I played it off stream. I finished it, built it off stream. It was awful. It was like truly one of the worst decks I've played post MH3. I did not consult on Final Fantasy. I only did Assassin's Creed and Lord of the Rings, and then I said no to MH3, and they haven't asked me since. That's probably for the best. Well, that's not good. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Into a Johnny, wow. So I can cast either of these. They know about the Subtlety, so they're just not going to play into it, so I think I should probably Scion. It's kind of appealing to go Subtlety, because if I draw it on tap red, I can go Scion for 2 mana and put Keruga in my hand. They said no to MH3 to keep it fresh, because I didn't want anyone thinking I'd influence it. I said no because they wanted me to go to Seattle for 6 weeks, and I couldn't afford to take the time off from stream, or didn't want to take the time off from stream. I didn't want to take 6 weeks off. Alright, we're dead. Yeah, it was just too. You just like can't take 6 weeks off for a project like that as a streamer. It's just too bad for your career. Okay, let's pivot over to the Beseem Kitsa deck, I guess. Kind of nice to play something that isn't just a control.